I'm Joe Grizz. I just survived 74 days for a wilderness survival challenge on MrBeast. I'm about to watch the video that just dropped on Saturday for the first time and tell you guys some things that you might not know about what happened to me in the wilderness. All right, let's dive in.
These two strangers off in the middle of the wilderness. These two
Oh
guys
my gosh.
have never met each other in their entire lives. Every day
That was so crazy.
I'll give you $10,000.
I hope you brought enough money, man. We're here for the long run.
Put that camera down. Let's head out. Take care, boys. This video can make you guys millionaires.
It's gonna be poor by the time we're out of here.
It was so wild, like meat and haze. We had these bags over our heads and we pull them off and we're like, oh my gosh, this is the guy. It was very surreal. The helicopter's going. That was a lot to take in. That was a really intense moment.
I'm Hayes. Hayes, I'm Grizz. Nice to meet you, man.
Grizz, all right. You're gonna be my best friend for the next however long. Starting now, these guys receive $10,000 every day, with the only limit being how long they can survive, which theoretically means they could win unlimited money.
We're both multi-millionaires. We are trying to find a camping spot, build a fire, survive the night.
I think the idea of like staying forever was really appealing in the beginning, but you know, the reality and the truth of it is that like, I mean, my gosh, how long could you stay? I don't know, you know?
Camp here.
For the rest of the night, they gathered wood and went through their supplies.
We've got approximately 5 days worth of food,
Yeah.
2 things of water.
Looks like a change of clothes, some warm jackets, and boom, fire starter.
Let's see if we can get a fire going.
Oh yeah. It was so cold that first night. Like it was freezing cold. It was in the low 20s. And oh man, that first night was brutal. It was brutal because we got a late start and it was just, it was wild. But we slept under a poncho. I had ice all over the poncho that was in our kit. It was so cold.
Oh, yeah.
We are good.
Let's make beds out of pine needles. Won't be
We made these
comfortable,
huge
but
pine needle beds, stacked them up like 3 feet tall. They're pretty comfortable. They really were.
Day 2.
And in the morning, I showed up to give them their first $10,000.
I don't think either one of us slept very good.
First night. It's cold. It's been 24 hours, and I didn't walk over with 10 grand. You're not gonna ask?
Yeah, I guess we should, right?
Yeah. Okay, just look up. Oh my.
Dude. When
Every 24 hours, we're gonna drop $10,000 out of a plane for you guys. There's $10,000.
Carl was dropping these briefcases out of the airplane, and it was like, I think he was learning how to do it, and they were all over the place. Like, there was one spot that they were trying to make him land. It was just in this field right next to us, and sometimes they would get him just right. Sometimes we'd have to go get him out of a tree.
This briefcase.
No, watch out! Bro, this is crazy. Bro, we're gonna be so rich by the end of this video. And on top of that money, this is your flare gun.
Oh, the flare gun.
Shoot it up in the air. The challenge ends for the both of you. And you walk away with the money you've won.
So how long should we stay out?
$6 million for the year is crazy.
All right, the plan is officially that you're gonna split this in 2. You get this.
Yes.
I get this.
Now we can't screw each other over.
But later in this video, that plan doesn't exactly work.
All right, I feel bad.
Yeah.
I need to steal that flare gun. I just gotta shoot this thing, and I get to be a dad again.
You
This is
fire
so
that
crazy.
flare, I literally think I'm gonna kill you. Well, buddy, ready to get rich?
Absolutely. By day 3, you could say the boys were pretty tired of sleeping on the ground. So after another 10 grand, they started work building their shelter.
Use my jacket together with needles and layer them on the shelter.
All right, I found this metal piece from a kid's swing.
We knew we had to get a debris hut going. It was too cold, you know, weather was coming in, and yeah, we had to get on it. And it definitely was a lot warmer in that debris hut once we got it going.
Set, and I think it's gonna work great for the roof
Yeah.
of our shelter.
Layer 1 on. Boom.
You got to make layers like 3 feet, you know, 4 feet deep of leaves and debris, basically, and it just kind of packs in and it starts settling down. And you want it steep enough so it sheds water. But we nailed it. It did a really good job.
This section that we're working on, you can see it's got some structural poles. We get to
Yep.
use the parachutes and the cord, so we're gonna make
Yep.
a rain cover on our shelter.
Everyone thinks probably that I'll be the reason we leave and fail this.
We use the parachutes kind of like to hold the case and hold the entire shelter together. Because it started getting windy. Some storms out there.
Safe boiling that.
Yeah, we gotta be careful because that stuff is full of bacteria and
Yeah.
parasites.
So they gave us this one little pot to boil all of our water, and we would spend hours a day boiling water, and that was it. You know, you're out in the swamp, so the firewood's not real good. You know, a lot of it's kind of like, it's punky and it's half rotted. It's just not great. So, you know, boiling water was much more difficult than what you would think. It took a lot of time.
Ooh, just a touch of the swamp.
All right, we're going to bed.
Hopefully
Chris snuggles up because it's cold.
I
Third day in a row, those guys
am
go
big
to
and warm.
sleep. It's so cold. If it rained right now, we'd probably have to go to the hospital.
But I'd do it for $10,000.
And it wasn't just
After a while, Hayes and I actually zipped our jackets together into one blanket. Like both jackets zipped together, and we would get under them if it was real cold out. That was a lot warmer to share a blanket, you know, than it is to just try to have your jacket on and, you know, oh yeah.
A fast, which sounds so much nicer than starving.
And for the next few days, the hunger problem didn't get any easier.
We had a little square of beef jerky this morning. That's
Yeah.
it. Jimmy gave us 5 days worth of food.
We were fasting, man.
Right now,
We were fasting and like
Chris says they're edible, I guess.
it was rough. It's like every time you would bend over to pick something up, you would get lightheaded just because we hadn't really been eating. We didn't know, you know. We didn't know.
Officially survived 10 days.
The swamp's real tough that time of year in the winter. Everything is like hibernate, you know. There's like all the fish really aren't in there. There's no crawfish out. You know, a lot of the food stores, the reptiles are just not there when it's super cold. So yeah, we were hurting for food.
Yeah.
And don't leave. This is where the challenge gets interesting. Bring in the helicopter.
Oh man, I remember that.
Dude.
That was so surreal. It was wild.
First offer. I can tell you guys are tired of eating leaves. So I brought you guys an additional 10 days worth of food, spices, 2 tarps, and everything you would need to fish. All of this for $50,000 of your prize money. Want some beef jerky?
It was so expensive. Oh,
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, coffee.
coffee was a big selling point for me.
I'm kidding. Like, this is really all the things we would need to fish.
50 grand.
50 grand.
$50,000.
10 days worth of food means they make 100 grand, and they only have to pay 50 grand for it. I'm doing them a favor.
Should we talk to him now?
$50,000.
All right, Jimmy.
If
What?
you make a decision in the next 60 seconds, I'll throw in 2 feasible bars.
Yes.
Oh, you still
We-
59 more seconds, but okay.
We decided that we had to say yes, for sure.
Thank you for sitting here.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys.
Enjoy the food. Oh, by the way, you also get the crate with it. Thank you.
It's definitely a deal we had to say yes to, but that week of food literally cost as much as my kids' college tuition.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy to think about. You know,
I still
that's
can't
wild.
believe that every time this money falls out of the sky.
The food from the crate will feed them for 10 days.
Every day we'd have to go out to that field and get a briefcase. It was so
They'll still need
wild.
to find more food in the wilderness.
So some of you may be wondering, why have they not caught fish? Well, the swamp nearby
Yeah.
has no fish in it. What we really
It was
need
just
is
cold.
moving water that we can fish in.
And while Hayes was
Yeah.
rambling on about his kids,
And my 2-year-old doesn't sleep very well either, so
this happened.
I think being a dad. What is this?
Yo, I remember that day.
It's a creek. This is not a swamp. This is actually moving water.
So we
There's
thought,
fish in here,
we
too.
found that thing and we thought that it was just stagnant, right? And like on the first day or two that we were out, but then come to find out, Hayes hit it on a day where there was actually flow happening. We realized that, oh man, it's moving water. And that was a huge deal because now we got river access, and that was really, really important.
It's like a dock. This is the perfect place for food.
And kind of thought it was a pond.
After another few days full of a surprise freezing rainstorm,
Ugh.
At least now we have $100,000.
My superpower is I sleep in the rain really, really well. So it would just rain and I would just sleep. And Hayes wakes up every morning at like 5 a.m.
And then we balance them
Every
together
morning, doesn't
so
matter.
the brain stays and the trees right length. Oh. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. I'm glad I broke your fall.
Sorry.
all right, so maybe they had a bit of a false start. But once they got the structure back up, they spent the entire next day putting their finishing touches on their shelter. They even built a fishing dock to help them catch more food.
Oh yeah.
Dock's done,
Pleasantly surprised.
and now all we got to do is catch a fish. Come on.
Yeah.
Right?
And as good as this was, without sleeping bags, the winter night was still unforgiving.
Oh, it's still so cold.
Cold night. Cold toes, cold feet. No sleeping bag.
So I think I knew what my next offer was. It's day 20 and they moved super deep in the woods, so now we have to get there by boat.
Do you hear that sound in the distance?
What'd you say?
Any minute now when we find them, I've got a fun offer for them. How's it going, boys?
Hey, guys. What's going on?
2 things. First, the plane needed maintenance, so I'm delivering this by hand.
Hey, all
Here's your
right.
$10,000, which puts you guys at $140,000. And second,
It's
we have an
amazing.
offer for you.
I remember when they got there and we were helping them get that crate off of the dock, that was way more weight than that dock was supposed to hold, and we just about lost everybody. it was almost over. Everybody almost went swimming.
Take it off. Here it is. Oh. You can either give me $10,000
Oh,
for that
man.
red sleeping bag, or
10,000 for one and 50 for two.
both sleeping bags.
I mean,
5 times the amount for
come on, that's crazy. That was crazy. And we couldn't have one because they wouldn't unzip all the way. They just like zip down to like right here. So you had to have two. And it was starting to get warmer. It really was. The nights were getting a lot better, and we just kind of adapted to it. And God, for $50,000 again, we were just like, oh man, we can't do that. That's so much money. So much
I
money.
sleep closer to Grizz than I do my wife. So I'm not even kidding.
You're actually gonna say no to both?
It's a really cold night. No sleeping bag.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think it's final. We don't want it.
Yeah, agreed.
Wow, not even a single sleeping bag. All right, boys, close it up. Sure, the boys could survive without sleeping bags, but that didn't solve their food problem.
I think we'd rather be cold than
the boys got into a bit of a
lose another $50,000.
Work on their shelter and try to catch fish, which wasn't really working
Oh,
out for them.
fishing was tough.
For bait.
It was tough. It was like,
And, hopefully the fish come up off the bottom of the creek.
Day after day of failing
it was
to
just
catch
too
any
cold.
fish,
It's the wrong time of year out there, and it was just real
they
tough to
finally
get
caught
fish.
a wind in their sails.
I remember.
Whatever that abomination of Mother Nature was.
Hayes catches this big eel, and it was like the first fish that we had caught, and I thought, oh my gosh, because I've never eaten one. I was like, oh, this is gonna be so gross. Like, not looking forward to it at all. That was the most delicious thing I think we ate out there that we had caught, and it was absolutely wonderful. And I would eat eel constantly if I could. I've just never caught one before. I was like, I didn't know those were here.
What is that? Can I eat it? First fish. It's an eel. And I think I'm gonna charcoal grill it. We're gonna have ourselves some American style unagi.
This is the first thing that we've caught out here in 27 days, which is insane. We're happy to have it, and we're gonna make it delicious.
I don't know
Yeah.
if this is what I would call delicious.
It
but
was
the fact
so
that they
good.
haven't had a fresh meal in almost 30 days.
It was
means
so
even a
good.
rock would taste good to them at this
Oh.
point.
It's excellent.
It's so good.
We
This is just like amazing.
we
Catching
we
fish like
ate
this,
the whole
you
thing.
can Usually stay for a year.
The entire eel. We would have eaten another one if we had caught two. Like,
They started
it's
constructing
crazy. It
their
just makes you
raised
feel
beds
so good to get all that protein.
2 tripods, one side rails going down, slats across, and then a nice.
So the raised bed's really important because, it was about to warm up in the swamp, and there were going to be critters. We're getting snakes and mice and all kinds of things are going to start running around, and you just need to be up off the ground. When things start warming up, the swamp is not a place that you want to be sleeping on the ground. You want to be above it.
Mattress made out of parachutes.
And after seeing their new shelter become
Yeah.
more and more comfortable,
We had all this
I was starting to
cordage
get
from
worried
the
that I was gonna have
parachutes.
to pay these
We
guys
found
for
some
really
cordage in the woods, like old, what do you call that? Baling twine. There's a big roll of baling twine from a farmer had left out there, and
right next to this creek.
it was kind of old, so it was kind of rotted, but we still used it.
To save their lives.
Snapped it. At this point,
Another reason
I
fishing was
spent
so
more time
tough out
with
there
my
was that,
newborn son.
you
I
know,
have a 2-year-old with my wife.
there was a tremendous amount of trees and everything kind of like downed in the river, and your hooks would just get hung up. And we tried so many different methods, but it was tough.
Out here trying to get firewood. Having firewood dropped off would be really nice.
Oh.
I'd pay $10,000 for that.
I would have killed for firewood if they'd had delivered us like a cord or 2 cords of like split oak or something like that. Oh man, that would have been so nice.
Surviving an entire month, I brought you a store. Okay. You see, we come through all of
So Jimmy shows up with this store right out in the middle of right by our camp at night. It was wild. They pulled it with a Sherpa. Like it was really crazy to see all that stuff. And we're just staring at this thing going like, what is happening?
your vlog footage, and we wrote down everything you've asked for, such as firewood, a
Yeah.
shovel,
Yeah.
cooking supplies, bedding, and even books and board games. It's like a dollar store, but everything costs 10 grand.
This is your store? Feel free to shop.
It's a $10,000 store.
40 grand. Might as well check it out.
Those are mosquito nets.
Oh, we'll use parachutes. We don't need those.
All right, what about the hammocks?
I like the hammocks, but we haven't tried making them out of parachutes yet.
All right, Grizz, answer this. What could you not make out of parachute?
A lot.
All right, well, do you guys want the firewood?
How much
So,
wood?
That's the wood you get.
Parachutes are tough.
If it came with unlimited wood, I would buy it.
I offered them literally.
Yeah, they wanted to sell us just like this little bundle of wood for $10,000, and we already had figured out the grill grate situation.
Or something. Are you guys gonna buy
And we're
it?
just
Let's say
like,
anything. You make 10
what's
grand
going
a
on
day.
here?
What's another 10 grand?
I gotta say no.
All right. In a million years, would not have thought they would say no to everything. Next time, I'm going to convince you two to spend money.
We're looking forward to it.
Yeah, man.
They tried hard with that one, y'all. They tried hard. So they brought out Hayes' suitcase, okay, but they didn't bring mine. They just brought out Hayes', and they told him he had pictures of his family in this suitcase. Because he did. And he was just like, oh, God, you know, it was like, don't do it, Hayes, unless you know there's something good in there. Like, it's $10,000, you know, so... Yeah, it was funny. We went back and forth on that. Yeah, Hayes was like, I can't do it, you know, and it was just really funny. But eventually we decided not to. It just wasn't worth it. There wasn't really anything else in that briefcase, I think, that was worth, you know, the money. It was a little game that they were playing, trying to get us to spend money.
Tank. Stop right here. I have a special surprise for all of you. Nolan, what does this look like?
A lot of phones.
1,000 phones to be exact.
Yeah, we didn't know about any of this phone stuff. This is crazy.
Random people that subscribe, a free Samsung Galaxy S24. I literally spent over $1 million on these phones, and I'm giving them away to you. All you have to do to enter to win one of these phones is subscribe. It's literally free. I just want you to know I appreciate everything.
That's hilarious if they actually dropped those out there. Because this is something they did. We didn't know about it, but that's wild.
And so they
That doesn't surprise me. They're crazy.
But go figure, for the next few days, they weren't able to catch any fish. And even though the money kept coming,
Fishing was tough.
they were running out of food and time to catch it quickly.
Fishing was tough.
I am on the last belt loop. I think that we have maybe 2 days.
Yeah, we were going through like a little bit of rice and beans, you know.
This creek is not productive. We got to go to that river. If I
Yeah.
can get to that river and the fishing is good, that'll turn all this around.
Yeah.
With their rations running dangerously low, their only hope at getting food was to travel through the swamp to the river on the other side in hopes of catching some fish.
Yeah.
It's risky wasting all these calories, but
Yeah.
I have to do it if we're going to make it any further.
We knew that there'd be better fishing at that river, you know. We could tell from the creek that was going by our camp, the intersection had to have been close, and it was just a matter of getting to it.
Not the most gorgeous thing you've ever seen.
Finding this river is probably the difference between us making our goal and us tapping out early.
Fortunately,
Yeah.
he had a
Yeah.
secret weapon.
Grizz and I made our own fishing pole, and this is going to make catching fish easy.
With Hayes' makeshift fishing pole, he was going to have to use his hands. And he spent hours
That fishing pole worked really well when I had it.
catch any fish without immediately dropping. The calories burned coming here would have been for nothing. But just when he was
That's
ready
funny.
to give up,
This one's going to be it.
Ah, yeah. Holy moly.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes, I told you it was that.
I remember this day.
and the luck didn't stop there.
I cannot wait to bring this back to Grizz. He's gonna be so stoked.
Oh, man.
We're eating tonight.
Hey, all right, that's awesome.
Feels like this is our first real food in
Yeah.
ages.
But in the meantime, I was preparing an offer.
I remember eating that
I know
fish.
they couldn't refuse. It's
It
day
was
40,
so
they made over
good.
a third of $1
But I
million
didn't like shad. Shad does not taste very good.
For $10,000, and I think you're really gonna like this. You both can see your wives. In fact, they're watching right now.
Oh my gosh, that was the most insane day. Like neither one of us expected that at all. It was like because you know the other videos people see their spouses, but it was a total surprise. We had no idea, and oh man,
I smell so bad.
oh
As nice as it
That made me
was
feel
for
so good.
families, the visit was also bittersweet because there's one big question on everyone's mind.
How long do you want us to stay?
I want you home now. Like,
that was tough
I do.
conversation for
I
Hayes
know
for
you
sure.
want me home.
I know
Do you
that was a
need me
big
home?
challenge.
yes, she needs you. Yes, you need to bond with your son. I don't care what the other guy says. You've made enough money. I need you home.
It's tough.
That conversation was so difficult for me. Even so, yesterday was a really good day. It had all of the things that I love. It had my family, my wife, my kids, my buddy Grizz. That was like a really huge gift. Oh, they're
Yeah,
gone now.
that was such an amazing day.
To hold her and know that she was safe, it really has changed the way that I'm viewing this entire challenge. Knowing I have my wife's support, I want to stay until I have $1 million.
It made me
And
feel
after
so
some
good
much-needed
to
family
see her
time,
like
Hayes
you know
and Grizz
be
were
there
much
and
happier
say,
than I'd ever
"Go
seen.
get it, babe." You know, you stay in there and you go like, and, it was awesome. 'Cause I was worried about her. Sarah moved to Colorado to take her dream job while I was in the swamp. I didn't even know where she was living.
Even when something happened that would have totally drained them before. 400,000. By now, they didn't even seem to mind.
It looks like someone had a gender review.
Every once in a while, one of those cases would come off the parachute, about 1 out of 10, and you had to be careful because they were coming down fast, and it was like a big money explosion.
If they had a boat, they would easily be able to float down the creek to the river.
Yeah.
I am building a boat.
Yeah. It was really difficult to get through that swamp. You know, it was really challenging, and so Hayes had an interesting boat design idea that we went back and forth on a little bit. But you know what? I support him, and it worked. And I'm surprised, but it did.
This is pretty ironic, considering the offer I was about to bring them. It's day 50.
Oh, yeah.
What are you doing? Whoa, you guys have a village now. Wait, are you serious? You built a boat?
This was a crazy
This
day.
thing can actually...
Crazy day.
Wanna try it? Yeah, I don't... oh my god.
Jimmy just like had no idea that
Boat in the woods.
I don't know. Like, I don't know where his intel is coming from, but he didn't have any idea that we made this boat. And I think it really threw him off because
A boat with
the Zaxby's barge comes floating upriver. We're just looking at this thing going, what? And I never thought Jimmy was going to let us actually eat any food without paying for it. And we just like, oh my, I remember that. I'm like staring into the sun, stuffing chicken fingers in my face. I got Zax sauce like dripping down my beard. I was so food drunk.
There's like so many flavors happening in my mouth. What is that? That's really good. It's a Zax sauce.
Look how happy they are.
So
If you wanna
good.
be happy like them, just go to Zaxby's
Oh,
and
man.
look at Mr. Beast box right now. Now that you guys have gotten your meals, your day 50 offer is for 50 grand. You can have this boat.
We don't have a motor. We don't have any way to get this thing around.
Yeah. It was heavy. It was a big barge.
Oh Lord. I don't
And like, there's no way that we could move that thing around. It would wind up in the ocean.
My answer is I love the ship I made. I trust it with my life. So I'm gonna leave it up to Grizz.
For $40,000, I'm gonna pass on the boat.
Ah.
I'll get in Hayes' death trap.
You have to quit. I tried.
It really wasn't that bad.
Food, that was lovely. Bye, Jimmy.
I'll see you next time.
So this ship saved us $40,000.
Still a death trap.
Hey.
Man, when we first started this thing, it was in the dead of winter. Do you remember how cold it was?
Yeah, now everything is so nice. And
Yeah.
warm.
Spring had really sprung out there. We started to get some warm weather. You could see everything running around. There's rabbits running around. Like,
Mind it?
What is today?
it was
51?
awesome.
I don't know. I lost track.
It wasn't so cold at night anymore. Oh, that was really
This
good.
briefcase puts us at $440,000. Time to build the Hayes and Grizzle love seat.
80% of what we're sitting on here is going straight to my business.
That's true. Yeah.
No, I don't want
Absolutely.
for our ships anymore. This money's gonna do so much for her and our family.
But while the warmer weather was nice, it presented new problems like snakes.
Don't want to get bit by that.
And
Oh yeah.
Get out of here.
The mice.
mice.
Oh
And it wasn't
my gosh,
until
y'all.
lack
The
of
mice.
sleep started to make them
I gotta
irritable.
tell you about the mice.
Looks like
Hayes would, he hated the mice. He absolutely hated the mice. And they would attack him like every single night. I don't know why. They wouldn't come over to my side, but he had mice in his bed, crawling around on his body like every night just about. And I'd wake up to, you know, he just hated him so much. It's the funniest thing. It was the funniest thing ever. I was dying.
Hayes is struggling to get over here. Hayes, do you need my help?
What does it look like? You want to paddle upriver into the wind?
Hayes, why don't you go get those fishing lines fixed?
You know what? You shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
He was angry that day. I didn't know he was really angry, and he was really upset. And
Thank you for
I was kind of poking at him a little bit, but I didn't think that he was actually upset. You know what I mean? Sometimes it takes you a little while to, you know, to see someone angry before you really understand whether they are or not, or they're playing around. You know, so that was my bad.
This idea about how this would unwind is not working, obviously, because it's a stupid idea.
Hayes, I'm sorry, buddy. I did not know I was actually pissing you off. I did not know that you were.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
And so, feeling frustrated, Hayes turned off his camera and paddled downriver, where he set up his camp until the next day.
Hayes has set sail, and I think he may have run away. I'll certainly be thinking about him. I know it's
Yeah.
supposed to be cold at night. He's not back in a couple days, so I'm gonna have to go looking for him. Let's do something to cheer him up. So we got a huge board over here that was left by Jimmy at the last beast drop, and I'm gonna repurpose it into a table with some of our cases. It's actually pretty sturdy.
And when Hayes returned home, he was not.
We found some old nails from what looked like an old deer stand, like old wooden deer stand, and
Oh, it's a sea trout. I'm pretty wet.
Use
Mind
those.
if I take a minute? No, man, do your thing.
You just pound them in with a stick, basically.
Yeah, buddy.
What's this?
It's our
Got
table.
some good fish.
We have a table?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I figured that'd perk him up a little bit.
This is a $2,000 table, Grizz.
Welcome back, buddy.
Feels good to be home.
With their survival needs met and their friendship restored, one question still remains. How long will they stay?
We gotta have a serious conversation.
Yeah.
The end. Honestly,
Yeah.
I'd have been done 5 days ago.
Maybe push like an extra week. I mean, hell, that's a 30.
I knew Hayes was done. He, you know,
I pulled that.
he
flare on
was-
day 70. How would you feel?
it was time for him. He was done. You know, that's the best way I could describe it. I'd been continuing to push him and try to,
At day 70, we have a
you know,
conversation.
take his mind off things and like just kind of keep move forward and take it day by day, basically.
For him.
And I think
but
that, like,
I'm not happy about it.
because I needed money for my business, and I still do.
Upset. I'm seeing it.
You know,
He's keeping it to himself, you know, so I'm a little worried about
I was pushing him because of that.
He wants me to stay longer. He's kind of pushing me to stay longer. At some point,
Yeah.
I gotta stop being wilderness guy and go be dad.
Another day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's tough.
Oh.
It's a tough situation.
I was gonna have it. I saw
Oh,
it. Oh no.
another one.
Hayes going to check out the case that was dropped
Another
from the sky.
bomb drop case that got ripped off the parachute.
See what he says.
What are we gonna do with all this money?
Kind of want to talk to you about that. Kind of ready to hit the flare.
I remember that day.
What do you think about that?
I want to stay longer. I know that you've got to pull away from this thing with
Yeah.
family.
I know. We've talked about it 1,000 times. I just want to know how you feel about it today. Yes or no?
Can you go one more day? Give yourself 24 hours just to kind of feel it
I
out.
thought a lot about it, but if you want to go another day, let's go another day.
I felt like if I just could kind of get him over this hump,
Let's go on a
that
little walkie walk. We can go over here. Let's say Hayes isn't a part of the equation.
that he would have,
How
like,
many more days
you
do
know,
think
come
we
out of
can
it and
survive?
stayed like another
Let's call
couple of
it
weeks or something. You know, that's kind of
45 days
what I was
would
thinking.
probably be as far as I'd go.
How many do you think
But-
he has left in the tank?
He talks
I don't
about
know.
it every day.
How often do you think about shooting the flare?
Every day.
What stops you?
At this stage, Grizz, you know, he wants to make $1 million, and it's hard to say no to that. I have an obligation to him too, but it's starting to go towards family. Yeah.
That's
When
tough.
you do shoot that flare, that's gonna be crazy.
Oh, I can't wait.
I mean, I'm working on a business loan. I've got my house on the line. You know, I'm taking some big risks trying to chase my dream with this brewery. And I need money, you know, and I needed the opportunity to make as much as possible. So I was definitely pushing as hard as I could
To our first camp.
with
where I was
Hayes
shoulder
to try
shoulder
to,
with Grizz every
you
single
know,
night. And after that, it was like, all right, dude,
try to keep going as long as
we're
we could.
brothers now. I expected to walk away with a lot of money.
I knew that he wasn't going to be happy about it, but I felt like
Friends for
that,
life.
you know, he'd look back on it and,
I kind of got to think about.
you know,
what's
be
right for
happy
me
that we did
and my
push
family.
further. You know what I mean?
Hayes got so desperate that
Yeah,
he literally
that's crazy
went
to
into
see him,
Grizz's
because
bag and stole the flare gun.
He
Even
just-
though
he's-
it was his idea to
I think he was
separate
way
it
more
into two
upset
parts.
about
At this point,
staying out
all
there
I
than
have
he
to
was
do
even letting me know, you know?
is shoot this thing.
I mean, I didn't really know
and I
yet.
get to be a dad again.
I
you
remember
know?
this.
I know this thing is very challenging. What we're doing out here is not easy. I really, truly do believe that you're doing what's right for your family.
I disagree.
You're providing for them in a way that's going to
I
change
think
their lives.
Now,
This was
it's
such
gone the other
such
way.
a tough.
Now it's. I think I need to be
I
there.
think that you've been really upset and you've been missing your family really bad. I feel like
I think the money doesn't matter.
spiraled through
the money
this
doesn't. The money doesn't matter to me anymore. And really, the only thing that's keeping me here is you. And I'm sick of it.
yeah, my family needs me too, you know.
And you're very good at, manipulating me.
I mean, I didn't even know where my wife is. I mean, I know that she's in Colorado, but like,
It was clear that in this moment, Grizz was going to have
It wasn't
to make
easy
a
for me
decision.
either, you know.
Convince Hayes to continue surviving in these woods for more and more money, or be there for his friend when he needed him the most.
I can't imagine having gone through this experience with anyone else. I mean, I really do, like, I genuinely think he'd be like a brother. You know, I'm sorry that I've just pushed you on and on and on.
I just don't want to let you down.
You're not letting me down.
Yeah, I am.
Brothers don't let each other down. This is the way it is. Everything's got to come to an end sometime. Let me see that flare.
That was a very...
I owe you this. And to be honest with you, I'm sorry that it's taken so long. I think it's time for us to do this thing, buddy. I love you, buddy.
That was the toughest conversation that I've ever had with a friend.
You smell bad.
I think they shot the flare. No, you take that
Ever.
one.
Like-
Let's go check in on him. Rich.
And
Boys. Hey, Jimmy. Oh my God. We dropped him off.
it was crazy because like it starts to like sink in, you know, as soon as you shoot the flare, it starts to sink in that like, you know, you're not gonna sleep here tonight. You know, like this entire thing is now over. And that's something that took like, honestly, like it's still sinking in. You know what I mean? It's still like sinking in and it's crazy. I don't know. It's a weird feeling and it feels good, but yeah, I don't really know how to describe it.
Days later. Crazy.
Yes, they look crazy.
You haven't left these woods in 74 days. Dude, I'm so ready. One final surprise.
Oh man. Oh my gosh. When I saw my wife out there basically at the finishing line for us, like I was just overwhelmed, absolutely overwhelmed. I didn't think that they would be there. It was crazy. Like it was such a, like, it was amazing. They actually, they let us fly away in the helicopter, but it looks like they didn't show that.
Subscribe button right now.
No, they didn't make it. It's crazy, didn't make the cut. So we flew away in the helicopter and, oh man, as soon as I could see my wife, I just like, as much remorse and confusion that I had about whether or not that I'd made the right choice is like, I felt like it was the right choice for Hayes and I knew it, but like, you know, you always, there's something there in the back of your mind that's like, did I do the right thing? I think I did. And when I saw my wife, I knew that I made the right choice. And it was just, I knew that it was time and I knew that she was so happy and so proud of me. Like that made me feel so good, and it really made me feel like that I really won this thing. And I don't know. That's so crazy watching it because that last moment was just so hard and so like real and just heartfelt. I'm kind of speechless. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I want to answer some of your questions, so leave them in the comments below. I'd love to make a video off of them, so if there's anything that you guys have questions about, let me know. And please like and subscribe. It helps us more than you know to get this channel going, and I really, really appreciate it. We'll see you in the next one.